told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Welcome back to the Journey of Life podcast powered by Zozo, the brand. If improving yourself, elevating and educating yourself is part of your life's goals, this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Tendaishe Monalissa, bringing you another episode of the Debrecen Diaries. Feel free to follow the podcast at JOL Podcast on Instagram and follow me, your host, at Tendaishe Monalissa on Instagram as well. So, of course, as per tradition, we have a special guest host, my former group mates here in med school at the University of Debrecen. Please feel free to introduce yourself. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Tandy. So as you know me, I'm Reuben. I'm 25. I'm Indian, and I did med school with Tandy. Just graduated recently in December, thank God.
Congratulations, doctor.
Thank you so much. You too soon. Good luck to stay, by the way.
Amen to that.
And yes, so whilst in med school, I also took up to something that I've always loved, and music. I got into DJing, so
yeah, DJ Nandis for the people there.
Thank you.
We're super proud of you, honestly.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we met, second year.
Yes.
That's when you joined our group,
yes,
right?
Very much.
And I remember back then, because I was the group leader for a group for the entire
Very
thing.
good group leader.
Really?
Yeah, set an example.
I think I had an amazing group as well. Yeah, you guys were
we got good
good
pictures too.
Yeah, so I think that's when I met you, and I think one of the things that always stood out was just like how incredibly like friendly. It immediately was apparent that you're an empathetic person, understanding, respectful person. And I think another thing was that I used to think that you were just like this really like carefree person. Like just life is just, I don't know, life is a garden, you know? Unfazed about everything and anything. I was like, how is this guy doing med school with this attitude? I thought I didn't care, but damn. But I think as I got to know you more, I actually got to see that other side of you, like the focused side of you, like when you really were trying to meet your goals, you were really on it like that. So I got to see a different side of you. You came to do your hair with me. I got to see that part of you that's just your adventurous person. Like you will explore with who you are, with other cultures.
Definitely.
And I really appreciated that about you. So yeah, it's good to have you here.
Thank you, Tandy. I like that observation. It's very, very nice, very touching.
Yeah. So of course, guys, we have the education segment, and because Reuben is a DJ, and I feel like you've been doing this for a couple of years actually now, maybe more than a year and 2 years or more.
Actually, when I was on the way here, and I was checking the write up, I was I went back to my Insta and I checked, and I DJ'd the first time in April 2019.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's been like
5 years. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be about 5 years. Wait, 2019.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Time has been flying. It just feels like yesterday, you know what I mean?
It feels like yesterday.
It feels like yesterday. Wow.
And the love's still there for it.
Which is amazing. I feel like when the passion doesn't go away for something, and it keeps growing, that's amazing.
Through the journey of life.
Yeah. I see what you did. I see what you did there. Yeah, so I thought that it would be really good for the education segment, because I actually see that there are a lot of people come to Debrecen who are interested in music in this way.
Definitely.
And I think when I first came into Debrecen, I always used to think that the DJs were these people who came from I don't know wherever, but I realized there were students who were pursuing a passion on the side. So I think one other thing I really would like to showcase on this podcast is like how multifaceted a person can be, and how it is still possible to pursue your passions even in uni and throughout life. So I have a few questions for you, like
As
concerning
many as
how
you
you
like.
started this career,
Mm-hmm.
what are the things that people may need. And the
Mm-hmm.
first one is,
Mm-hmm.
what is a DJ
Mm-hmm.
and can anyone be a DJ?
Of course, now it's always good to start with the origin. So DJ is short for a disc jockey,
Mm-hmm.
and by definition, someone who plays pre-made music, recorded music already. And there's so many different genres that the DJs could extend their expertise to. But yes, I believe anybody can be a DJ.
Really?
Yes,
Anybody? So
anybody.
today I can just
Yes, you
bang.
can. You just need to love music that much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
about how much. It's all about how much. Like eventually, when you love something, you have to do something about it. You know
Yeah.
it. Like you're very
Yeah.
drive
Yeah.
for life, and you doing this podcast. It's stepping out of that zone.
Yeah,
DJing is
absolutely.
like that with music.
Yeah, so like what skills did you have to learn to become a DJ? Was it just, playing pre-recorded music? I see the people, I don't know, scratching some CDs and
Yeah.
tuning some buttons and things. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to do one or two things.
Yeah, no. Actually, that's that. I get quite a bit of those reels and TikToks from my friends. Like what DJs actually do. Like, are they just
Mm-hmm.
moving buttons? Are they just?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But on a serious note, and for educational purposes,
Mm-hmm.
I would break it down to four things:
Okay.
explore, organize, socialize, and develop.
Okay.
Now, looking at DJ as these four skills and things you have to do, I would say explore as in you have to continuously have that craving for new music.
Mm.
You need to explore. I mean, genres, new songs. You need to be, the moment you know someone is making music, you need to talk to them, find out why they're making that music, put them up to it. I know
Mm-hmm.
a couple of friends who were making music when I first started DJing, and
Mm-hmm.
it was so fun to play their music in clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So as in you need to have that, you need to almost crave to have that craving to listen to something new
Mm.
every time, and keep filling that,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and organize with I think organization is important with anything,
Mm-hmm.
especially you learn that in medical school. I
Yeah,
don't think you can
yeah.
get through it without organizing.
For sure.
And it's the same thing, you can't get through a night without organizing yourself mentally, and organizing your music. You need to understand and picture, visually, what you're going to do with the crowd.
Okay.
Where is my music going to go? There's so many different genres, so many different BPM groups and energies that you can mix songs with, but you need to find your way of understanding music. Some
I
people
see.
like to see it as colors. Some people like to see it as some people like to see it as weather. I like to see it as weather. I
Oh.
classify like, there's summer,
Mm-hmm.
there's lo-fi, there's trippy,
Oh,
and like I have different
wow.
ways. Like when I think of a playlist,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole vibe that I try to explain through it. So if you click a playlist, if I play that at a party, it's because these things go well, and they
Mm-hmm.
just they keep people going. They keep people going in that energy.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And socialize, I would say, you have to get to know your crowd. You have to get to know the people around
Thank
you.
you. Because some of these DJs, they don't be trying for us. Like, why
Nah,
are you
nah,
playing
it's
oons
not
oons
just
when
a
there's
job.
full of us Afrobeat people here?
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly.
Look at the crowds.
Exactly.
Hello. We're not enjoying ourselves. Switch it
Exactly.
up. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I think maybe because we don't know,
Mhm.
as consumers of this, we
Mhm.
don't know like what goes behind and everything like that.
Mhm.
For us, we just want to have a good time, and
Mhm.
obviously,
It's that simple.
the music is the significant part
Mhm.
of that.
Mhm.
So I feel like we're like, but as the DJ, that's your responsibility. If you
Mhm.
see that the crowd is dead, do you just stick to, oh, today it's this night for this kind of music, or do you switch it up? Like, what do you do?
Nah, we've had theme parties, which is for the 90s, the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the end of the night, if I see my people who like a specific genre, I'm playing that genre. I don't care what the
Mm-hmm.
label of the party is. It
Because I
doesn't
think
matter. It's
people
all
want to just have a good time at the
That's
end of the
all that
day.
matters at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Okay.
That's the
I like
job.
that energy, honestly.
Yeah, and that's how you learn more.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you improve your music collection. Finding out what you don't know and actually trying to understand what people like instead of just playing what you have.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Woo. Please don't just be playing what you have. Yeah. So, another question that I had is like, is there any equipment that is essential, like for,
hmm
let's say, what are the basics for a DJ to have, and is it like costly or?
Okay, so to start off, I think you need you need pretty much nothing to start off. You need to, I think you start off with Spotify or Apple Music or pretty much any streaming platform. You could even download MP3s. I think you start off with understanding how to mix sounds, and you move on to something with a platform which allows you to mix those sounds. Now, I know people who started with laptops and did virtual DJ, but as I mentioned 5 minutes earlier, I started off with an iPad, and there was this app that used to be free. It was called DJ by Algorithm, and the first time I DJed in a club in 2019 was off an iPad.
Oh wow!
There's no pictures of it, of course. But
why you act like it was the Stone Age and there were no cameras? You're like, there's no pictures.
No pictures. There's just a picture with the headphones on. It was silent disco. So
I see.
Yeah, so it was. So you could start off with an iPad or a computer, and once you're good with that, you understand how it works. You understand the structures of the sound, phases, beat matching. Once you understand the concepts of it, and you need to get into the practical stuff, all those knobs and buttons that everyone sees blinking
on the board,
all of that trippy stuff. That's when you get yourself a board. When you already love it and you know that you're doing it every day. You don't get yourself a board and you're like, okay, because I have the board, that works too. But once you've already developed the passion from using little, I believe if you learn to do a lot with little, when you have a lot, you'll be able to do anything.
Ooh.
Yeah. So once you've already developed that passion and you get that equipment, I'll get to the equipment in a second. Then that's all the drive you need. You've already developed that, because that's more important. You don't want to just give up halfway. And with relation to the equipment, I think you could start off with a bedroom DJ set of having. There's so many I could suggest. I could send you links later, but you could get everything for under, I would say, about $200-300.
Okay.
$200-300. I would start with borrowing someone's, using someone else's. You can always ask. You can always message people, Facebook, and I would get secondhand first. Get secondhand, get some gigs, make your money, and buy something. You can buy. Yeah, of course, or just borrow it. No one. And if I see someone who genuinely loves what they do and genuinely loves music for what it is, and if they ask me for my set, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah.
I think the concept that we talked about in the previous episode, actually, that it's a principle, I think, in life in general, that people invest in things that they believe in. So if you believe in your craft, I think invest in it, and sometimes you don't have, big investments to make, but you don't only have to make like monetary investment. It could be your time, it could be more effort, energy to practice. More important than the monetary investment. Any day. Yes. And eventually, you have to put something down. If you believe in it, then you should probably put something down. So if there's somebody listening and you're thinking about something that you want to start or pursue or whatever, invest in it if you believe in it.
Yes. And start as soon as you can.
So can a DJ play like anything, or is it wise to like pick a genre first, like when you're starting, like like a couple of genres that you mix well and do this well, and then like what would you encourage someone to
Honestly,
do?
I love this question. I love this question because this question has you're gonna hear a very personal answer from me, because DJs should learn how to mix practically anything, just to keep the people going, because it's a good time that we have to give people who we're playing for. But if you're trying to get into the scene, like get into the scene in a city or like a place, or you're trying to make a mark, trying to make an entrance, like I told myself, as I told Arpan, my friend who I do party organization with, shout out Arpan. If you want to be good at something, you if you want to be good at something and make an impression, make a mark, you could do two things. You either be the best or you be different. Now, when I started here with the DJing thing, the two biggest DJs in town was DJ Ali and DJ Lambo. Shout out DJ Ali and Lambo.
Yeah,
Lambo is my big bro.
Fire!
Lambo is my big bro. I cannot say I would be here today without Lambo.
Like we knew when he was coming with his thing in Miami, it's about to go down.
From Miami to Eli to everywhere he went. God bless that guy.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Lambo was both of these guys did everything. They did everything. But Lambo's parties, when it came to Afrobeat and Amapiano, Lambo was playing Amapiano and Afrobeat before the whole world got on.
Yes, way before.
Everything.
And you know what I absolutely loved about Lambo is that, like, you could see that he is enjoying the music. Yeah, I swear that guy would enjoy the party more than all of us. Like, I wish he was still around. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to bring him on the podcast
I'm gonna
sometime
send
because
him this. I'm
this
gonna
is
send
a
this. He'd love
crazy
it.
Debrecen diary, a core memory
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of us
The
party
Debrecen
goers.
nightlife would not be the same without him. Would
Whoa,
not be
he
the
was
same
on
without him.
fire, honestly.
He's killing it back home in Nigeria, though. He's
I can
killing it.
imagine.
Yeah.
I've got no
He's on
doubt.
a radio channel.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Exactly.
That's really amazing.
So, well, what was I saying about the genre thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lambo was killing it with all the genres. Ali was killing it with all the genres, but Lambo was really, 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 really good, and like doing like out of this world good with Afrobeat,
Afrobeats and
Amapiano,
Amapiano,
dancehall, urban music, you know.
Mhm.
And Ali was doing crazy stuff with hip hop, and I
I
was
see.
like, I want to do something different. I didn't hear as much reggaeton besides the usual, you know, Mi Gente, Despacito, and the you know the. So I tried to work on reggaeton because
Okay.
you know
And
reggaeton
bring that to the table.
exactly. And the
Nice.
first advice that I got from a club manager is like, listen, Reuben, you play music that girls like, so that the guys follow, and that's how you fill the dance floor.
Ooh.
Yeah, and who does not like reggaeton? Who doesn't like Spanish music? So
there
that's
you
what I
go.
entered with. And then next thing you know, people are mixing up my surname. They're like, "Oh, Fernandez, are you Spanish?" I'm like, "No, chill.
No.
I'm Indian, but I love Spanish music."
Yeah.
But I entered with Spanish music.
Nice.
Good question. Very good question.
Yeah. So, how demanding is this lifestyle really? Like physically, like mentally, like you know, because I mean, I know maybe when you're playing in even then when you're playing in Debrecen, like I feel like as a DJ, you're not like the crowd. Like you're here you're on a job actually compared to us. We're here to have a good time, whatever.
Yeah.
People black out, whatever. But for you, you still need to be able to have some sort of focus and stuff. But like, isn't that like also physically like draining?
Definitely. I mean, I practically live on caffeine, but I won't lie. To be very honest to your question, I have never been fully. The DJing has never been my full. Like I give it my heart and my soul when I have a gig, but I haven't lived the full DJ life where that is my career because I've always tried to manage med school, right? But I have friends, DJ Emperor, shout out DJ Emperor. These guys, they do gigs 5 to 7 days a week, and it's tiring. I know how hard they work for it. But like even with me, for me, the biggest thing was managing med school in this, and I believe it depends on depends on what your goal is. You know, if you want to go for the gig to make your money, or you want to go for the gig to have fun, that's something. And if you want to go for the gig and go for every gig having a different track list and continuously improving, it's a completely different thing because you practice for that. You know, you practice like days in a row,
and then you take time also.
Yes, a lot of time.
I see.
Yes, it really depends on what you're going for. But for me, yeah, a lot of caffeine and say nicotine was involved. Yeah.
So, like, at what point, let's say, an average student, not just a medical student, who has listened to this educational segment and they're really considering this, like, at what point in their pursuit of their degree, for example, would you recommend them to start? Like, as soon as they decide they have this passion, or maybe in the middle of their degree program, or towards the end, like, what would you recommend? Of course, maybe you might not know how other programs are, so maybe you could start with med school. Where do you think is the sweet spot?
I think that's personalized to it depends on when you get in the groove of studying, and everyone has a different year for it. You know that.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
The moment you get into the groove, like, okay, I take this much time to study these many topics, preparing for this. The moment you know that, which a safe spot would be 3rd to 4th year, but if you figure out earlier how you study and how you get stuff into the head of yours, then you can start as early as you can.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much. But it starts with, as I mentioned, it starts with playlists. This whole DJing thing started with playlists. I've been making Spotify playlists since 2015. And my goal was never to be a DJ, but I just like playing music for people. But having that organization, as I mentioned, that mind map of, okay, I feel this vibe and I have like 6 genres I can work with. But that playlist has been building over time.
Yeah, so you
can
have
start
something to,
anytime.
like a library to pick from.
Exactly, anytime and anywhere.
Gotcha. So, what are the benefits that like DJing has brought to you?
Oh, that's a broad question. I would say music in general has changed my life, like mentally, physically, emotionally. It's like an outlet for me. Like, not even exaggerating. That's what I do when I get stressed or when something gets to me. Like, it's something musical related. It's either making something, just freestyle DJing, writing something, pretty much. But it's it showed me that, no matter what field you get into, if something really, really calls you, give it a shot and listen. If something really, really calls you, give it a shot and listen. If something gives you that sense of freedom that nothing in the world does, or that's something that you can do with yourself and only yourself when you're alone, listen to it, give it a shot. It could be anything, and it's usually a form of art.
Yes, absolutely.
You need some form of art in your life to set you free. Otherwise, it's either art or vices,
Woo!
Yeah, it's one of them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes. Art.
So choose wisely.
Woo.
Yeah.
I won't even add anything to that. I won't add anything.
Those are good
to
questions.
That. Yeah,
very good questions.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about the benefits for you. It's a really good outlet and everything like that. But what are the difficulties that you face? Like, I don't know if, with events and everything like that. I know that these things, they're not that simple. So is there times where things have been complicated with organizers, or maybe you've gone to a party and you're playing and then the crowd is just not hitting.
Oh, okay.
It's just a flop.
You just know what questions to ask. I love it. So there's a lot of stuff, but there are some things that I would definitely mention. Is I think the biggest thing was juggling. The biggest thing was the balance, the med school thing and the DJing thing. Like, I won't lie, like there were times that when it's almost a seesaw, there were times that I fell onto one side or another because I gave my heart to too much of it. Like, I got too into DJing, preparing for gigs that I had in the month, and I did that by compromising my exams, and then I'd have a longer exam period, and
which is more stressful.
And it's just bad because failing an exam increases your chances of repeating in a year, and you don't want to do that.
Of course.
So but that was the most worrisome thing. It was just that, the balancing act. And the second thing is, for anybody out there, like, if you ever get into DJing, get extra wires. Just get extra wires, like, period. That's it. Just get extra wires.
So,
I know.
What do you mean extra wires? Like, to connect things?
Yeah, to connect stuff.
Okay.
As simple as that. As simple as that. Like, so, like, this could be this. I even till last month, I was at an event, and there've been numerous times when all the party is missing is a bunch of RCA cables on. It's normally a bunch of RCA cables. Just carry a bunch of RCA cables. You might just save like 200-300, maybe 500-600 people's night.
Oh wow!
Like, just buy an extra pair of wires. You get them in Media Mart anywhere. Just get an extra pair. Even if yours just for some reason stop working, it's always good to have an extra.
Okay. Yeah. There's some tips for future DJs,
or
current DJs, some RCA cables, whatever those are.
Or the red and black cables.
Yeah. And that too, guys. Yeah. So, like, what are the general misconceptions that people have about DJs? I'll tell you one. That
Let's go.
I don't know if it's a misconception. It could very well be true. But typically, I think we tend to see like the lifestyle is like partying and and all this stuff. So we really think like DJs are just like womanizers, and, because they have access to it's always this type of environment that's like usually hypersexual and people are trying to party under the influence and things like that. So I think it comes with the territory. So what are the misconceptions that you think people have of DJs?
That's a good observation, and I won't say it's completely wrong. I mean, the environment plays a big role in what you get into, right? So, like, a big part of what you said is true. Like, the very environment, the party culture, it encourages a lot of things that you would not even consider before. Like, if you know what I mean.
Drugs,
pretty much all of it. It's worth the experience, but if you know what you're there for, nothing's gonna pull you down. If you're there to do a good job, everything else is just gonna be everything else.
So if, let's say, for example, like if you, I don't know, met some new people and you said that, oh yeah, so by the way, I'm a DJ. Have you ever experienced anybody treating you differently because they know this? And if so, is it like better or worse or what?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something that surprised me initially, actually. And this is both with making new friends and with talking to women. Not like I'm saying it in a bad thing, but like it was like, I don't mention it obviously, like, hi, I'm Reuben, I'm a DJ. No, it's not like that. But like, it's usually like, okay, I introduce myself, I say where I'm from, And a lot of times, unfortunately, you know, like I don't know why it happens, but like I guess it's the, what do you call that, the stereotype that we have.
Yeah.
But as being brown and being Indian, you don't always get the best assumption. Like when you hear, like when I go outside, like, hi, where are you from? I usually play the guess game, and then when I say I'm from India, like, oh, okay, you're from India, and I'm like, I don't always like that. But then then it's happened before, like they see me on the stage and DJing, and they're like, oh, hi, this is this.
You
this
know,
is
we
this.
told you all the
I'm
DJs
like,
get the clouds.
like, you know, why do you have to go do that?
Yeah.
But that's wrong, you know, like just that the very thing about the nationality thing. I've seen it happen over here. I guess it's an Eastern European thing.
Okay.
I guess they're still catching up with how it is, but it doesn't happen all the time. But it's not rare. It's happened quite a few.
So there's like there's a color thing going on. Then there's the DJ stereotype going on as well.
The color thing goes on with, like, pretty much everything.
Everywhere.
Even if I wasn't a DJ, it's just that I noticed it with the DJ. Like after the DJ thing becomes, it'll be like, oh, okay, that's nice. You get +5 points. You know, it's like that.
Because like, why am I not enough as I am? I have to be a DJ.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm a DJ. It's not that bad. But it's entertaining to me at that moment. I'm like, you know, when you actually see how the world is through your own glasses, it's like, okay, it's quite humorous. But it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, and I'm sure it keeps you grounded. So
definitely,
overly, to conclude this, you know, educational segment, what has been your overall experience, you know, with being a DJ so far?
So far it's been amazing. It's honestly been a blessing. I am very grateful to God for this happening, for my family and friends who were there from the time I was playing music off iPads and phones and MP3 files and all of that. All of them, if you're listening to this, you know who you are. And I'm grateful for all of that, and I know that it's, even though I finished med school, I do not want to stop now. Like, it's part of my life. There's always music playing in my head. I can't get it out. And I love it. I love it more than a lot of things in my life. As I mentioned, it's changed my life. And it's beautiful. You know, it's my form of art. It's my escape. And I'd encourage anybody who wants to get into it. And anybody who'd like help, pointers on how to start off, I'm open to. I'm very ready to help.
Wow. And you know, like, I mean, of course, you guys are going to listen to this, but I actually can see how you're expressing yourself, and I can see the passion and the meaning, you know, behind.
Yeah, I love it when I mean it.
Yeah. And shout out to those, you know, that support system. I think it gets you really far in a lot of things that you're passionate about, because they are the ones who hype you up, who tell you you're amazing, you're good,
through those
you're
bad
talented.
Transitions, those music cuts.
Exactly. They were the ones who were there, and they were hyping you up. When you look back, you're like, what the hell? You guys were just lying to me.
Basically. But it's love.
It's love. And even then, like, I think they were enjoying what you're doing, and you know, you grow through it.
And they still do.
Yeah.
And they're still there.
Yeah, we love that. We love that.
You see them on stage, you see them, and you see them coming through to say hi whenever I'm playing.
Oh, that's
Those are special people to me.
That's lovely. Thank you so much. And this concludes our education segment, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
I loved it too.
You know,
very good question. Really.
And we move on to the next chit chat. Is just vibes from here.
Vibes and that.
Yes, vibes, inshallah. Tell me, I think I always ask this question because I feel like people have so many ways of expressing their experience here. How has been your experience in Debrecen?
Contrary to a very common belief, it's actually been amazing. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I don't hear that too often, but there's ups and downs everywhere. But I love to appreciate the good that has happened here. It's changed me as a person. It's given me that ground to grow, and that's more important to me than anything that bad that could have happened here.
So, what are the things that you appreciate about this city? Maybe it could be things personal, like friends or whatever, or things that you actually like about the city itself, or about, I don't know, Hungarian people or whatever. What are the things that you have appreciated about this place?
To start with, I think that that's one thing that we can all mention in common. It's the people, you know. That's what keeps us. That's what keeps us sane over here.
Yeah,
you could say pretty much anything about the town, but your tribe over here and the people you choose, the people who choose you, that's what can make you or break you over here. And that's Debrecen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who pretty much want to leave Debrecen. If they can, they leave tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who are very happy to leave Debrecen, but every time I fly out and I come back, it feels like
It's like
I'm coming back
home.
home. You know,
Same.
I've been in Debrecen longer than I've been any place in my life.
Me too.
Hey,
Me
let's
too.
go, let's
Me
go.
too.
So it is
Actually,
home in some way or another.
I think you know, like I think I was talking about this with Roby, the
Hmm.
previous
Hmm.
host from the
Yeah,
last
I know. Yeah.
episode, about how how it's been good for him and everything, and you know,
Hmm.
contrary to the
Hmm.
popular, you know, oh,
Hmm.
it's shit here, it's this, it's
Hmm.
that, and I was actually thinking about it as well, and I was like, nah, I've actually had some really amazing experiences here, and
What?
this
Yeah.
is home for me. It's
Hmm.
so home that when I traveled home back to my home country,
Hmm.
it was so difficult for me to cope.
Hmm.
And when I came back here, I was like,
Indeed.
and who would ever think that? Because I was always like, I'm on
Exactly.
the next flight out of this place. I'm on the next bus. I don't know, tram,
Just
walk,
getting out of here. Yeah.
bicycle. If you can take me out of here in a wheelchair, I'm leaving.
Indeed.
You
Yeah.
know, and I realizing that
Hmm.
it's home.
It is.
It's actually
It
home.
is.
So I can definitely relate to that.
Hmm.
And I think for me, outside of the tribe, I think there's certain things that I actually appreciate about Debrecen as a
Hmm.
city.
Hmm.
Like I really like the lifestyle here.
Okay.
You know, like I like how quiet and clean and
Hmm.
just quaint, and
Okay.
it's just very, very calming for me. And I
Hmm.
realized that like where in my lifetime, or like when I get a career and everything like that, I
Hmm.
want to live in a city like this.
Okay. That's the first.
That's how much
I like
I
that.
like
Yeah.
the serenity of
Okay.
Debrecen. So I think that's another thing that I definitely like appreciate about the city.
Hmm.
And what are the things that you haven't liked?
I haven't liked, well, I would say it's really okay, that might take me a second, but up front, the one thing that I really didn't like when I got here was the ignorance to learning the language.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got here, and that was a while back, Jesus. But when I
Whoa,
got
I
here,
know, right?
yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while we've been
Yeah,
here, fam.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
been a
So
while.
when I got here, and I don't know if that's still the norm over here now, but I still hear it pretty much every second international student I meet. You know, there's that ignorance towards learning the language. Like, why the fuck should I learn the language?
Mm.
I'm sorry, my language. Yeah, but like, why should I learn the language if I cannot use it anywhere else? But you know, I, I, I credit a lot of my experiences over here with Hungarians. You
Mm.
know, with my clinical practice,
Mhm.
volunteering here,
Mhm.
I credit a lot of it to having an. I'm not saying my Hungarian's amazing,
Mhm.
but like
But having
it's a
some
lot. It's
command.
above average. You know,
Mhm.
but I can hold the basic
Oh,
conversation
that's pretty
more
good.
than just one lazash, you know,
Mhm.
all that meja hasha and all that. You know, just
Mhm.
basics, not just what you learn in Tashek Mundani.
Mhm.
Just actually taking a step and trying to converse in the
Mhm.
language, just
Mhm.
asking for help, offering your help to someone, talking to
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
I think as soon as we got here, it was like, no, Hungarian's not important. You can pass it anyways. Just use this, is this. Yeah, you don't need it. This is nah.
Mhm.
Take that effort. Speak to people. Make Hungarian friends. Get a Hungarian girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you like. But learn the language. It's a
Mhm.
skill.
Mhm.
It's not useless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. Like we really underestimate. It is a skill. It is a
Yes.
language skill,
Yes.
and
Very useful.
these are pretty valuable out here.
Indeed.
Trust
And I
me.
heard
When you
Temi
finish
mention it in
uni.
your previous podcast, the
Mhm.
previous episode, which
Mhm.
I feel is very important.
Yeah.
Double tap that.
Yeah.
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 Valid point.
So you hear, especially if you're a medical student.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about, but for us, it's pretty important because it will improve your experience of your clinical practice
Mm-hmm.
immensely. It will be like
Yes.
you're experiencing something different from everyone else
Exactly.
just because you have the command of the
Exactly.
language, the way the nurses were going to assist you, help you, all those things. Like it will change a lot of your
Thank you.
experience here,
Thank you.
and
Thank
you
you.
have a totally different experience from someone else. So
Very much. Very much. I mean,
yeah.
have you? I know a couple friends of mine. We've all done internal medicine practice, right? And people would always mention about the taking blood and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
And the issue is the nurses take blood over here,
Mhm.
and the most of the nurses speak only Hungarian.
Mhm.
You know, all you have to go is take an extra step and say, "Szeretném tanulni a vert venni."
Mm.
That's it. You just go there and they'd be so happy
Dude,
by the fact that you
yes.
said, I'd love to learn to
Mm.
take blood. That's it. And they call you in the morning. You go like a couple days, like 6, 7 in the morning, which is worth it, and they teach you how to take blood. Instead of complaining that they don't give it to you. Like take that extra step.
Take the initiative. I think,
and this is encouragement. Like through this podcast, like you take Hungarian seriously. Your practice and what you learn eventually as a doctor would improve immensely.
That's so true. And I think even in life in general, like I think this is something that I'm learning, or I'm relearning, to learn to take the initiative, like to go outside of my way. You know what I mean?
Your comfort zone.
Outside my comfort zone, because I think sometimes we kind of get into that. I think uni in general leaves a lot of us encouraging each other to stay in that space of mediocrity or of just being comfortable. It's like, why do I need to put extra energy when I don't have to? But actually take the initiative, because I think it helps to grow you, because you always be a little bit above average, not only like comparing to other people, but even in your own capabilities. You always be exceeding them, because you're taking the initiative to learn more, to do a little bit more, to go a little bit extra, and that will make you be recognized. That will set you apart, wherever you go. So I definitely encourage that, and I'm also trying to be more proactive person in the things that I do, because I realize the amount of comfort that I was just comfortable having around me. I don't put effort, because I know I can be a little bit more this, but like why? Because it will make me better.
This should be encouragement. Like I mean that's how we learn. But I think everything that you said is true, and plus it's also the right way to use your time.
There you go.
That is the right way to use your time.
And idle mind is the devil's workshop anyway. What are you really doing?
Exactly.
Take the initiative, and it doesn't take anything out of you, for sure. So, like, I mean, you already mentioned, like, the hard parts, with DJing was, like, balancing, like, med school and, and everything. But I'm pretty sure that's not all you did here. I'm pretty sure maybe you had a girlfriend at some point.
Of course,
like, how was that like, because I feel like this is what most people are navigating in uni. I think you're getting into a different phase of your life where now you're trying to pursue career. So your priorities are way different now. But let's say that Reuben, that was in uni, like balancing those things, how was it? And I'm sure you've grown. Like now, I think you're a man now. Like and
I think so. My friends question it a lot, but I like to use that to my advantage. I think it's always good to be young at heart. But 25, definitely a man. Like,
And I'm pretty sure there's some things you look back on and you're like, what were you doing?
No, that's 15-year-old boy. That's a 15-year-old boy.
So like, I guess my question is like, how was it like balancing, I guess, relationships, maybe friendships? How did you struggle with those things? Like, was it easier for you? How did it go?
So I would to be very honest with you, when you do bring a lot of things on your plate, and even if you take your time to finish them, you do end up taking more time to finish everything. So as that, using that as a metaphor, like as the more things you bring on your plate in life, the more things you choose to spend your time, doing and doing well. You either take time to do everything collectively, or you miss out on one thing or another. And both of these things have happened, but it's a continuous process to keep improving this. And what I used to do is I'd always it's very important to pay attention. Like especially relationships, friendships. Human beings are precious, and human beings are definitely more real than your dreams yet. It's very important to pursue everything that you love, but it's not. There's no harm in once in a while, just checking up on someone, or just reminding your friend or your other half, your girlfriend or whoever you're with. It's okay once in a while, even if you don't talk to them. It's okay. Just send a message saying, "I miss you. I love you. I hope you're doing all right. I hope your family's doing all right." It's okay. Like I started this new initiative, like when I get really busy. Started a while back, but I'm bad with keeping in touch. But anytime someone just crosses my mind, like if I see an ice cream, and if I know someone who likes ice cream, and I just message on WhatsApp like, "Yo, what's up? Like how you doing?" Just that, and I close my social media. Don't overuse social media. So like, it is a challenge, and I always have my mom nagging me about keeping in touch, but I've been consciously trying to stay away from my phone and using it too much, because your time can get sucked into that like a
Seriously,
wormhole. I'm not even
seriously.
joking. Yeah.
I think
Use
I
screen time. Like keep understand where your time is going. Because if you say you don't have enough time to do something, it's probably because it's going there. It's going on
yeah,
that.
it's going somewhere
Yeah, it
for
is going
sure.
somewhere.
I
That's.
think I realized how much time I was consuming on social media
Mm-hmm.
when I deleted Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, whoa, this is how much this thing was distracting me. Like,
What?
and I'm not even a social media person. I cannot do
Uh-huh.
TikTok. I cannot.
Uh-huh.
It was just Snapchat,
Uh-huh.
Instagram, and YouTube, and how
Mm-hmm.
much it was taking like such a huge
Mm-hmm.
chunk of my
Mm-hmm.
life and my free time. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I get bored on Instagram. Nothing interesting is happening. I'm on
Dopamine.
I'm on Snapchat
Dopamine.
stories.
Yeah.
You know, not even people's stories. You know, all these like where
Reels.
they. No, you know, on Snapchat they started to have like these like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like a little mini show
Okay.
that they will have and
Yeah, yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
I've seen it. I've
Exactly.
seen it. I've
So
seen it.
that's the stuff I'll be watching.
Okay.
Maybe I'm watching like fitness stuff or the people that I'm
Mm-hmm.
into or stuff that's showing
Mm-hmm.
up on my feed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, this is really weird. Then I started going on a rabbit hole on the weird stuff.
I,
You know, I don't even know. Like,
it's all in pursuit of that dopamine, you know?
and you're there for an hour, then you switch to the next thing, then you
Uh-huh.
switch to YouTube. Like you can
Uh-huh.
spend the whole day actually just
Uh-huh.
staring at your phone,
Uh-huh.
and your time is gone. And you're like, what did I do with my time? So I just took one app, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, whoa,
That's a big chunk of your time
that's
you
a
got
big
back.
chunk of my time that I actually got back, and I
Man.
realized that no, I have enough time and
That's
energy.
Instagram for me. Like I delete it, and like when I see there's important stuff, like if I have an event or something coming up, I get it back, and I
Mm-hmm.
just use. I really recommend using screen timers. You know, I
Mm.
think if you put like a half hour, like 20 minutes, 1 hour for your social media, I think that's enough.
I see.
You know, or
I
how
think
much ever you need.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
But like, you
But
know,
that's just
I'm
searching for more time in a day. You know,
mm,
we all at some point of time have wished for more than 24 hours.
yeah, there you go. And I think 24 hours is actually quite a bit of time to do
It
a lot
is.
of things
It
and
is
still find time to rest,
definitely,
especially if you don't have a 9 to 5.
definitely.
You know, so I think we could be investing our time, especially for us, you know, still in uni and things like
Mhm.
that, like in other things that are more beneficial to us and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think you mentioned something really important to me,
Mhm.
because I feel like somebody asked me this question
Okay.
before, and they were like, what are the things you value? And I think for the past 2-3 years I realized, like, outside of, you know, material things like
Mhm.
money, things
Mhm.
like career and things like that,
Mhm.
I think at the top most, after, let's say, I really value my relationship with God, value my
That's beautiful.
relationship with
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
with the people that are in my
Connections.
life, with my family, with my friends. I value human interaction over everything.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And it was really nice to hear
Yeah.
actually like someone who shares the same like
Okay.
line of thought or
Yeah.
sentiment, because I feel like a lot of the things that I pursue or whatever wouldn't really have value if I didn't have people to share it with. So
Okay.
my skills, for example,
Mhm.
whether it's me being, you know, a doctor, a hairstylist, they have no value if I don't have people to share it
That's
with.
your X factor.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like my career and things
Mhm.
I want to pursue. I think
Mhm.
the drive behind it, you
Mhm.
know, material gain is a secondary gain, but the
Mhm.
primary gain I feel that I actually
Connections.
feel is like that human interaction. So I feel like it doesn't have value if those things are not served. Like
Mhm.
it doesn't have value to me to make the most money in the world,
Mhm.
but I can never have time to spend this money or share these resources with
Mhm.
people that I love.
Mhm.
You know,
That's beautiful.
so
That's straight
that's
up
what. So
beautiful.
for me, I'm just like, I want to be successful and I want
Mhm.
to be rich in resources
Mhm.
simply to be able to spend as much time as I possibly want to and can
There we
with the
go.
people that I love,
There we go.
with my friends, you know,
Yeah.
to spend
That's right.
good quality time with them, to be able to make the best memories.
Yes.
So maybe some of the memories we've made were just here, you know, we were
Mhm.
chilling and, you know,
Mhm.
we'll just have a wine, I'll
Mhm.
cook
Mhm.
something and we'll all chill
Mhm.
together. But now I can do that at a different scale, you know.
Yes.
Maybe now we can have a chef who's cooking or
Mhm.
something like that. Or maybe we can call DJ Nandes and he is
Hey.
hitting the music for us. We no
I
longer
got
have
you.
to
I
put our
got
little
you.
speaker, you know. You
Yeah.
know, that
I
kind of
love
thing. So
that.
it just improve the quality of the
Mhm.
experiences with the people that I love. So I think for me, I really, really value
That's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Basically investing time now to get more time in the future.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful, Tandy. That's very beautiful.
Absolutely. And I really value that. Like some people are so caught up
Cheers
in...
to that, actually.
Yeah, cheers to that. I wish I had some drinks. Hey.
Yeah, nah, this is good.
Hey, we're
This
doing
is
water. We're trying to stay focused.
Yeah, stay hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated this summer. Stay focused in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I remember this was years ago when we
Mm-hmm.
started to know each other, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I was really curious. You know, I knew that you were Indian, but it was interesting to me that your
Mm-hmm.
surname was Fernandez,
Yeah.
which sounded very like Latin
Yeah,
or
Portuguese.
exactly. And you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned your
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese heritage, which I didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
there's a part of India that
Mm-hmm.
actually has like a strong like
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese presence and
Mm-hmm.
culture and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. So I wanted to ask, like, does this make, let's say, the background that you come from different from the
Mm-hmm.
typical Indian stereotypes we see, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you have to be a doctor, this. Is there any differences in culture?
Definitely, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very good question, actually. Shout out to all the Indians listening to this. But so actually, India was colonized all over. So we were fucked over by a lot of people. The whole country by British, by the British. And
So
while
how did the
I'm going
Portuguese
there,
get their peace?
from what I understand, the Portuguese were there way before. So the Portuguese came into India. They first went in Kerala.
They didn't colonize, but they settled it.
No, they colonized. They colonized.
Okay.
They
well.
They basically, you know,
everybody was just trying to.
Yeah.
What are they doing to us?
I don't know. I think they just came for some spice. Like these people, you know, they don't know how to spice up their food. They came through. We sorted them out. Yeah. There's this Portuguese influence in a lot of states that are like water. A lot of states that are surrounded by water. So like mainly southern India.
Okay.
There's Portuguese heritage, Dutch, French.
Oh my gosh.
British pretty much everywhere,
Of
like
course,
everyone.
yeah.
And like specifically in Goa, so like Goa was colonized by the Portuguese, but we also the Portuguese did a lot in Goa, like, so it affected pretty much our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, so much. Like Indians, we are generally typically quite like religion, it does play a role in our lives, you know, and faith is important. Whatever it is, Hinduism, Islam, or Christianity, a big part of our culture. And how unique it is depends on what religion you follow. So like the assumption that Indians don't eat beef, you know, is actually that Hindus don't eat beef because they respect cows.
But I mean, as far as like the majority of the
majority is still Hindu, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess this because of the numbers, then
Yes,
the stereotype stands this
exactly.
way.
You know,
I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, with Goa, so it was the culture and even our religion. So you see a lot of Goans and a lot of people from southern India who are Christians.
Yeah, because I was so surprised to learn that you were like, you know, you were Catholic.
Yeah,
and I was like,
much, yeah.
who would have thought?
My family has been Catholic for generations, and we speak English at home. We've been speaking English at home for generations. My parents spoke to their parents in English. Their parents spoke to their parents in English.
So, do you speak Portuguese as well, or this is not?
It's so the Portuguese
didn't enter
thing,
that deeply.
Nah. I mean, maybe I should, you know, since I have the surname, might as well.
Right?
Know? Might as well. But like my grandpa could speak a little Portuguese, and everyone in the family just speaks English.
I see.
But it's just how adversely it's affected our culture. Even food, in fact. Literally everything was affected by it.
So do you feel like it diluted it?
I think it's just a very like I'm 100% Indian. Like I don't know, maybe I should do those genetic tests and find out. My friends always say
I think you look the part. I wouldn't have guessed any other nationality. You know what I mean? But like I think hearing this part was so interesting because I had no idea. I'd never met because back home in Zimbabwe, the primary school that I went to was predominantly in an area where a lot of Indians and like Pakistanis, Iraqis lived. So there was there were Islam kids and Hindu kids, you know. So my thing, in fact, back then I didn't even understand the difference who was who, like because everybody kind of just dressed the same, looked the same, you know. But then now looking in retrospect, I realized that no, there were the Indian kids and the Hindu kids, and we knew that. Because there was even a school that we used to interact with and stuff like that, and you know, like the school was I think it was like an Islam type of school, because I think my school was like a Christian school.
Okay. Yeah,
You
I
know
went
what
to
I
Christian
mean?
schools
So
my whole
like,
life.
we pray at lunch and things like that,
Yeah.
and then for them, they do their thing as
Very
well,
much, very
So
much.
it was really interesting to see the difference
It's
in
very
culture.
diverse. India
Yeah,
is very
exactly.
diverse.
Yeah. So
Very.
I guess I just thought that like all Indians are like Hindus, but
A
no, I got
majority
to
is,
learn.
a majority is,
Yeah,
but a lot. There's so much diversity in the country. Like
there
that's why
is.
everybody has a different story.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
mean, I went to the house church. The
yeah.
house church is a church here in Debrecen,
hmm
actually, and there
hmm
was a lot of Indians there,
hmm
and I was like,
Yeah, we everywhere.
no, so this,
Pretty much everywhere.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this notion that I had that like this religion, like these, because I think it means that Indians are like gung ho about Hinduism. This is what I think I
hmm
thought,
hmm
and then I realized that no, like they're just as diverse
Yeah,
religiously. Of
yeah.
course, there's the dominating religion and
hmm
everything like that, but
hmm
there's just so much more diversity than
So
I
much,
was
so
aware
much,
of,
so much, so much, so much.
everywhere.
Pretty much, pretty much. It's just that I think the stereotype just comes from what makes it to social media.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and most of the time that's either the most entertaining, most
Of
crazy, or
course.
outrageous,
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's so true. So speaking of this,
yeah.
do you feel like where in your own like personal backgrounds,
hmm
like do you have to like struggle through these like stereotypes? I mean, you're already a doctor, so I think you fulfilled
Thank God for
one
that.
of them.
Yes,
But is
yes.
there like this like
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming.
so I think you already ticked the box on that, but like is there
Yeah.
like this like
Well,
marriage, societal pressure, things like
nah,
this?
nah, 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 nah. Oh, do you say marriage?
Yeah.
Nah, 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 nah. So,
Yeah.
that also really depends on so many factors come into account when the whole marriage pressure comes into it. Still happens. I have friends of mine who are studying in uni, like 23, 24, 25, and have been getting marriage proposals for years. Girls mostly, right? I mean, they live in their life pursuing their career goals. God bless them. But like this, some things. So this is their parents and uncles and aunties and who are back home with just suggestions and the jibber jabber about, oh, okay, this is this age. But for me, nah, nothing like that. So in Goa, we don't really have those. We don't really have.
It's not part of your culture.
Yeah, no. It's
to
marriage now. I mean, my sister's, shout out Ruth. My sister's turning 22, 23 now. My parents have never brought her up. It's education is important. Getting where you want to is important, and love when you find that right person at the right time. That is, I'm grateful my parents are like that, but
Yeah.
everyone
So
doesn't have it like that though.
so
Yeah.
like even the idea of an arranged marriage
Yeah.
isn't something that
It's not new to me. It's not new to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like it's not something that will be part of how you find a partner.
I mean, that's a good question. My mother has always been very keen on offering me that, giving me that. She always mentioned, Reuben, become a
So,
doctor. Do you think? Don't worry, I know you're busy. I'll find you a nice Goan Catholic
I'm
girl.
dead.
And my grandmother's the sweetest. She ascertains me like, Reuben, I know someone. Don't worry, just focus on what you're doing. I know you're busy.
When the time's right, we'll have one for you.
Exactly. But I always say, I'm like, listen, Nana, all you have to do is just pray for me. That's
Yes,
it. I'm
pray
good.
for me.
That's all I
That's
need. Yeah.
So you prefer to choose because
Yeah, definitely.
I think okay, whoa,
It's a blessing to have that choice now.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Because I feel like, and I feel like a part of us don't understand the benefits of this because we're looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
And all we see is that choice being taken away from people.
Exactly.
But like, I think, from watching a lot of videos and things like that, also seeing the other side of those like arranged marriages and how long they last and that like there's a lot of successful long lasting marriages and things like that.
Definitely.
You actually see that it makes you get or understand how this culture came to be and the benefits that it has in terms of like integrating families, keeping families together and things like that.
That's the goal.
And stuff like that. So I was like, okay, like I get it. I think I would appreciate to have a choice, but like if people were able to make a great choice for me that I would enjoy in the long run, I guess it wouldn't be such a bad thing.
It isn't. It really isn't such a bad thing. It just depends.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's important to you. Period. Like like for some people it's important. For some people, the freedom and the choice is important. But for a lot of people back home and a lot of people in general, what's important is someone who you can cultivate a lifestyle together, something that you love. You know, the next 50, 60 years of your life is a long time. And a lot of people don't get the time, don't have the opportunity, sometimes aren't physically and mentally made to socialize and talk to as many people as anyone would. And
so they could really benefit from this.
that's completely okay. Whatever works for you, you know. Yeah, it's good. I mean, now there are all these websites and stuff like.
Yeah. I even saw a documentary on Netflix.
I know which one you're talking about.
And I thought, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
this is really interesting.
I think it's called Indian matchmaking.
Yes, I was like, whoa. And they're really like working that. I said, wow, this is a really good reality TV.
That's more drama than reality TV, Dandy.
But I'm pretty sure it could be that dramatic.
Oh,
though,
definitely,
reality.
definitely. Have you seen Indian movies?
There you go.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
you guys are known for the drama. And we're here for it 100%.
Yeah.
So there's been a recurring topic, you know, in the past 2 episodes, actually. And I think because you're a guy and, you know, I think also you're going to bring a little bit of diversity in terms of, like, let's say culturally and probably demographic wise, because the past 2 guys have been Zimbabwean.
Okay.
They've been African. So I'm pretty sure their dating demographic is a little bit different. And, you know, the culture is a little bit different. But for you, like, who pays on the first date or the dates? Like, what are the gender roles, or do you believe in this, or do you subscribe to this?
So I saw this cool video of 50 Cent, and I loved his answer. He said whoever's idea it was. Right now, if I knew that, I'd play that. I'd probably say that.
Do you believe 50 Cent is going on a date with someone who suggested the date and letting this person?
Maybe I just like I just like how catchy it is. I just like catchy stuff.
Yeah.
But me personally, I mean, I when I got here, I always try to make some of my own money. Like, you know, like, I've done pretty much every job there is that Debrecen has to offer, starting with the call center, cliche, you know, all of that. But like,
come on, but we're here for it. Like,
exactly,
you know, work.
So when I take someone out, someone that I like, someone that I find attractive, I like to spend some money that I've made. But of course, if it's not a date, then yeah, you could go, you could do it Dutch, you know. But like, it's not really something to think about. I'm not the fanciest person. I'm quite a simple guy. You know, it's more about the energy and what we're feeling. You know, sometimes it's just an ice cream, a drink. Just come to one of the more recently just been coming to the parties that I played at. You know, that's an experience.
Yeah, and I feel like that definitely is an expression of love. I think I can relate so much to this. I think
if you see me doing what I love, that's me.
Yeah, and I feel like you coming to support something that I'm really passionate about could mean so much more than you, I don't know, spending lots of money on a date, because I feel like it's nice, but it might not have a sentimental value.
That's what's important.
Yeah, and I feel like sentimental value and being intentional is so much more important. And I think sometimes people get it mixed up with how grand the gestures are, and then they attach to that.
Yeah.
But like, I think for me, like, yes, go big. Like, why wouldn't I go big for somebody that I care about? But I think someone who puts a lot of intention,
effort
and effort in what they're doing,
show that you care.
Yeah. I think recently, one of the things that really mattered to me was, like, I write poetry. I've always I do.
I'd love to read that sometime.
Yeah. If you see on my Instagram, like, I have like 1 or 2 things.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I've always done so since I was a little girl, actually. But I think somewhere along, and you know, I was one of those like debate and public speaking kids in high school and everything like that. So I'm kind of getting back to that, because I realized that it's just part of who I am as a person, and it doesn't have to die, or it doesn't have. In fact, it can't die because it's in me, but it doesn't have to be dormant.
You have to keep the fire burning.
So I went. Actually, I went to like a Brazilian like restaurant and everything like that, and it was really nice. And they had like an open mic thing going on. And I was just like, fam, like, I really want to, you know, because the guy was like, yeah, if you have any artistic abilities, you sing, guitar, you can just come up and do your thing, whatever. And I was like, fam, I can't play the guitar. I can't really sing like that, but like, I do poetry, you know. And I was like, but this would be good, like, especially with a guitar in the back, something like this. And I was like mustering up the courage to do it.
You did it.
I did it.
Respect.
I did it, and it
Respect.
felt so good. But I think one of the things that felt really, really the best was like having the support of the person who I had gone with to this place, supporting me there, because it was like in front of people I don't know, but you know, they took a video of me,
Okay,
and they really
see that.
they really encouraged me.
Yeah.
Well, like, you did such a great job. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that meant so much to me. So I think showing up for the things that I love and being supportive of the things that I do means so much to me. Like, you know, if you're like, I think I'll use this opportunity to even thank the people that go on my page and always comment, you know, and they repost the things like that I'm doing, whether it's the podcast, whether it means so much to me, because for me, it's like, this is support from a genuine place. I didn't even ask for you to do this,
And
or
you put
campaign
effort
for you
into
to
this.
do this,
Yeah.
but like, you've seen me, you're seeing me, you know what I mean? And I think that means so much to me. So I think it's definitely a love language when people show up for the things that you're about, you know what I mean?
I cannot express the gratitude to people who show up to my parties, even if it's for a minute.
Yes,
I
now we've
it.
come to watch you do your things.
I love it.
I love it so much. Like, guys, keep supporting your people and what they do. It means a lot. If you want to speak to someone, go and support them. Maybe you can't come, maybe you can't buy them an expensive gift, or maybe you can't do this, or maybe you don't have this or that, but giving them support.
Yeah. Show love. Life is too short.
Is the best kind of love that you can give.
Definitely.
Someone that you care about.
That's beautiful though. And respect. That must have not been easy.
It wasn't, but I feel like I was just like, I just had the nerve and the grit that night, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. I don't really know, and it's crazy that I've done a lot of public speaking, but I have the craziest stage fright. I cannot tell. I'm telling you. I cannot tell. I'm telling you, I have, like, from this right now, I cannot tell. I'm telling you, and I know no one can tell, but I have the worst stage fright, because I will literally be shaking. I will literally be shaking. If you hold my hand just before I get up on the stage, you'll be like, girl, you sure you're fine? You're not gonna have an MI on the stage? But like, once I get into the groove, like, the confidence, it just takes over, you know. But I have the worst stage fright. So it's something also I'm trying to deal with, because I realize that like, speaking in front of people and standing up for the things that I want to stand up for and believe in is something that I feel is part of my calling in this life. So I want to actually build that skill, be able to talk in front of people again, and not be so scared and not be so worried about what other people think, more than what I have to give out there to the world. Indeed, you know, so it's liberating. Like, even the way that you express it, like, I wish you the very, very best with this, because from the way you explained it, you absolutely love it, and the fact that that even though you seem so calm and oriented, you're not. That I completely relate with that. Yeah, I love DJing, but there's never been a time when I've not been stressed and not been worried about it. Yeah. But I love it, and as you love and as you feel niche in this, that's what drives you. Yeah, and that's beautiful. I have a love for adrenaline, so like, getting off that stage. Yeah, I'm definitely an adrenaline junkie, and getting off of that, like, nerves and anxiety, and I'm just like, I did it, and it's like you feel like your head's light. Yeah, shit, I just did that. Yeah, but to everybody else, it's just like, oh yeah, you came and you did your thing and you talked. Yeah. But then to you, it's just like, I was so nervous, all the adrenaline, all the stress and everything, and then we get off there, it's like this high. And then the picture which they took speaks 1,000 words. Oh man! Right. Sorry? The picture which they take of you doing what you love, of speaks 1,000 words. The video, everything. Because I think you relate to everything that was going on, not only what you maybe said. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't even remember saying this, because that's how fast everything went. But I just remember how I was feeling, like the nerves and everything like that. But I think, yeah, you remember the support. You remember the faces you saw in the crowd and stuff like that. The appreciation. Yeah. In that picture, you're like, oh, thanks, guys. Grateful, you know? Very grateful. That's beautiful. Yeah. And oh my gosh, like, we just went on a bender. Yeah, no, but I could see that's a topic close to your heart. Because we were talking about, you know, like, what we appreciate when, you know, with people around us, even like dating wise and stuff. Oh yeah. And another question that I had was like, as a guy, do you feel like social media has put any kind of pressure on you as far as like expectations in dating, or expectations that were put on you in dating? Nah, not really. Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, when I got here, I did hostel before coming here, so I wasn't as updated on social media, just anything at all. But when I came here, I did use social media briefly. I made like Instagram and Snapchat, I think like first, second year, I'm not sure. But like I saw how much time was going there, and I understood that if I cut down on this, it frees up time for so many things, so many other things, like this TV shows and whatsoever. Like it saved time, but because I knew in my head that it's not something that I needed, more like something that's like there. It didn't really affect me. I love what you can do with it, like sharing what you're doing, pictures, like meeting people, talking to people, and all of that. I love that, but I think everything in its due quantity, like social media is amazing, but if it's affecting you and if you feel that it's doing you bad, take some time away from it.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
I think I think social media has been a great tool to spread, knowledge, information, and things like this. But it's also been a great tool to
Take away your time.
to take away not only your time, but I think to really make you compare your life to other people's life. And this is what I mean.
Wow.
Like, have you
Well
felt
said.
that type of pressure of, let me not even take away the dating and whatever, like in general, like maybe you see someone who's your peer and where they are in life now, and you feel that, internal pressure, like, oh, I need to be doing better, I need to be better, or I'm less than, or, those type of things. Like, has social media affected you in this way at some point?
At some point, I think.
I feel like I definitely.
I think. No, I'm sure everyone has. So, and I definitely don't want to lie. Like, I'm sure there were times when I used to spend a lot of time on social media, and I used to follow a lot of people. But after a while, I started following a lot of these motivational pages, like DJs and things that I actually want to see, and people that I'd actually like to see what they're doing. So when I open Instagram or whatsoever, I'm actually looking at
Things
people
that
that I
feed
care
you.
about, things that feed me, and things that weren't giving me the best energy, or things that took me to a mental place that I didn't want to, as you mentioned. I just stopped. Like, if it's not feeding me, then why is it there?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I think this is a really great pointer. Like, for sure, I feel like to anybody who's listening, and I'm realizing this now, it's your responsibility to actually filter out the things that you want to experience in life, especially on social media, because actually you're the consumer, and the great thing about it is that you can also curate what you're consuming.
Yes. Yes.
So it's okay, because I think another problem sometimes is that we feel bad, or we feel that it is wrong for us maybe to unfollow some of the things that we followed before, because it's going to look like this negative gesture. But sometimes it's important to filter out what you're experiencing. I remember there was this page I used to follow, a Debrecen page. I think it was is it Debrecen Confessions or something like this.
God. I never followed any of their pages.
And honestly, like, I was really interested in the discourse that I would see sometimes, people actually talking about like what's mental health, and I was seeing some really open-minded opinions, and I was liking the conversation where it was going. And then I would also see some really crazy toxic things, and it's just like an accident, like, it's terrible, you want to look away but you can't look away. And I started to see that, like, every time I open my social media, like, as much as I saw that this is no longer feeding me like positively, it's just all these crazy things that I don't feel good after I see it. It's really, really disturbing and things like that. This is actually not serving me in the best way, even though I liked what it was, the platform. I thought that what it would do for people, exactly, like we would have those conversations, that people are scared to have, because then the anonymity helps for you to talk about anything and everything. But I was just like, I'm not interested in feeding myself with all these crazy things. And I was now feeling like, but if I unfollow, but then after that I was like, hey, it's my responsibility. This is showing up on my feed, I can help it. Unfollow it. It's okay. And it's nothing actually against the page. It's me protecting what I'm consuming, because every time I opened it, I could not help but just try to read what's
of course
there,
it's like subtitles.
It's there. Yeah, it's just there. I couldn't help but read it and ingest it, and I was like,
Yeah.
nah, this is no longer anything. So now I'm definitely more vigilant about like what I'm going to follow and what's going to be showing up on my feed. I feel like even with certain people that posted things that I feel like it's not relatable to me, or it does not align with my values or the things that I want to continuously feed myself, then it's okay for me not to follow them anymore or to engage with their content.
Correct.
So I think it's something that a lot of people need to learn. I
People
feel like
overlook it, yeah.
yeah. Filter out the things like we already know these algorithms are based off of what we like and what we see. So you can really influence your algorithm to the things that you also want to shift your perspective to. Maybe you're caught up in this, but you want to change to listening to things that feed you or that you're actually interested in, that will grow you. Then put your efforts towards following those kind of people, listening to those kind of people, and it will really change your outlook on life as well. Like, I think,
like, follow Journey of Life
yeah,
on Instagram.
listen to Journey of Life. I listen
Rock
to
it.
some really amazing podcasts that I recommend to a lot of my friends.
Podcasts are amazing.
They have changed the way I think.
Definitely.
Because I naturally, as a woman, I tend to listen to other women and things like that. But I also listen to this amazing guys on YouTube. I think they also have a podcast, Abba and Preach. Canadian YouTubers, really amazing. I like their content. It really made me open up my mind to how men experience things as men. And I really like.
I like that.
Yeah, and
the fact that you took the time to understand.
Yeah, and I really realized that, like, fam, like, we need to hear what what we are experiencing, not what we think men experience or how men think or how men tick and things like that, and how we can actually. Because, well, personally, I love men and I want to live with men in my society. I have brothers, I have friends, I have what. I definitely want to understand them and have a better interaction with them. And, I definitely want to develop, let's say, a romantic relationship with a man. So it's important for me to know, like, how they tick and everything like that, and I feel like sometimes, maybe in women's spaces, we feed each other a lot of things that are not true, things that are not true.
Yep.
So to actually hear from the guy's perspective, how they actually think, how they're actually processing things, what they mean when they say what, is better than to lie to ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Gossip.
So I really like to listen to that, and I was like, yeah, so why not? Let me follow these people because they actually have content that I can relate with, and I feel like that I can grow from, and I can improve my life experience.
Definitely.
Because I think it's not so much that, like, we're caught up, oh, you have to grow. But I actually just want to improve my life experience. I want to improve the quality of my relationships, because at the end of the day, it means I enjoy them more and I benefit more out of them.
That's important.
Exactly.
That's
so
important.
if learning how to maybe communicate better, if learning how to manage my time better will improve the quality of my life, why not?
Yeah.
And I think that's what self-improvement is about. It's about improving the quality of your own life, so you can enjoy it more and you can get the most out of yourself, whether career-wise, goals-wise, family-wise, friendship-wise, relationship-wise, you name it.
Very true. I mean, this is something that caught me that Kobe Bryant said. May his soul rest in peace, actually. He said it in an interview, like, about how if you really want something, you almost have to get obsessed with it. Like, he loved basketball so much, he was watching things about it. He was reading about it. He was filling his surroundings with basketball. And I think if you really, really want something, whether it's growth, you want to be a doctor, a DJ, anything that you like, whatever it is, we're in a generation of so much information you can choose. Just surround yourself with the right kind of information. You have the resources. We have Spotify, YouTube, pretty much. Just, it's literally your choice. So choose wisely.
That's so true. And I think, well, this is such a great note
Yeah.
to finish the podcast on, guys. It was really, really lovely, like, having you on here and hearing your perspective, your insight. It was really nice. And yeah, guys, I think one of the few things to take away from this episode is definitely, to invest in the things that you believe in. The education segment told you guys all the info about, if you want to become a DJ or pursue it. And I think some of the most valuable things in life, is is relationships and friendships, which is something
The simple things.
the simple things in life. Thank you so much for coming to the Journey of
Thank
Life
you,
podcast.
Tendi. It was amazing,
I'm
honestly.
wishing you the best in all your endeavors, and I'm pretty sure we're going to come on this podcast and talk about something different.
Definitely. I can't
about
wait.
your life. I know that maybe, who knows where we'll be, and then we'll have another episode, and it's just like, oh,
I
remember?
would absolutely love that, and I wish you the
Yeah.
very, very best with this. I can't wait to see where this takes you.
Thank you.
Keep steady hustling, steady grinding, steady doing what you love.
Thank you.
God bless. Yeah.
You too.
You got
You
this.
too. Yeah. With that being said, guys, life is but a journey. So, bon voyage. Bye.